Well, obviously very disappointed, especially in the second half. I think coming into it, knew that it was going to be a four-quarter game. Thought our guys, persevered through the first half. Obviously, to give up the strip sack touchdown and to come in the locker room 16-13, knowing that we had spotted them a touchdown and defense had kind of held their own to get into those 3 field goal opportunities. Just 16-13 half, felt really good about it, but the tail of the game was probably third downs. We were abysmal on offense, and they were pretty successful on defense. And then the 3rd and 8, I think it was the first quarter, second half, that was a killer. It was a bust coverage down the middle, right where the tight end was at. So we got to make plays, right? When those opportunities come, I know there was a wide open touchdown pass early on. We overthrew Henry Boyer literally on the first series. That things that happened early in the game. That's why I kind of we've come out of a couple games this year. The first series, we moved the ball, did some things that we didn't come away with points. So we did convert to 1 4th down, but I just felt we wanted to take points there at the end of that first drive, which did get us on the board and felt good where we're at. And they had the strip sack, which put them ahead, and then battled back. But bottom line, you got to make plays in this league. As coaches, we just got to do so much better. For me personally, as a head coach, obviously to be in a 16-13 halftime game and to have it end that way. I was trying to win the game. Obviously, that's why we went forward on 4th down on a couple of different occasions. We just playing the numbers. You couldn't win that game if we didn't go for it. Even though it put our defense really defensively, I feel we put them in 20, 21 points, however you want to say it. We gave a short field when we went forward on 4th down, and then also the onside kick. So really set up our defense in a position to not have great success. So we got to overcome. Obviously, a short week. We don't have a lot of time. We are a little bit banged up. Our guys got to get healthy. I told them in there, right? That's obviously embarrassing, however you want to say it. For me as a head coach, for you as a player, as a coach, that collapse in the second half just can't be tolerated. And this will happen in this league if you let somebody get those moments and those opportunities. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Offensively, you guys are looking to take a step this year. Just where do you feel like it's not connected?
Yeah, obviously we're not protecting our quarterback, and I think we can. Luke's going to get some heat, and there's some things I know he's got to get better. But man, I mean he's got people bearing down on him, and then in the second half especially, once they saw the issues that we're having in protection, they just kept bringing it. And we gotta look really in detail about what we're asking our guys to do. We're 5 games into it, and I think we know what we are. And if we don't adjust what we call or what we do to give them success, then it's our own fault, right? And obviously, our guys, I think, are competitive. I don't think anybody's trying to go out there and have failure, right? We just got to put them in a better position to have success, and especially in the second half like this, to have that thing fall apart the way it did is just very disturbing.
How concerning is the offensive line?
I think the offensive line, but the offense in general, right? Like you can't have success. We had 2 wide open. Again, those are touchdown plays. Those are big opportunities, right? And we got to be able to connect on those things, and we got to be able to execute. But for the most part, we did take care of the football. A little loose with it a couple times. We knew coming in this game that they turned it over, and they gave us that prophecy in the first half. I thought our guys did a really good job attacking the football, but we didn't do enough, obviously, in the second half to make it even a contest.
Defensively, how much of a common thread was there between the conversions they were picking up?
I can't hear you.
I guess defensively, on 3rd down, was there a common thread between the conversions they were picking up and just those plays? Purdue?
The plays that Purdue's 3rd down conversions, yeah. Obviously, they, I know at that 3rd and 8 just sticks out of my mind, and it just, over the course of time, there were some runs, there were some passes, but again, I can't recall exactly how they converted them. I just know the number was overwhelming.
Those penalties come at bad times, and they've been happening all season. How do you guys correct that after 5 games?
Yeah, I think the some of them were in the beginning part of the season were post-snap penalties, and I don't remember one today that was a post-snap penalty, but Taz got the DPI over there. There was another one that I know we got in the first half. Obviously we share with our guys all the time that statistics are overwhelming when you have a 15-yard penalty on defense. It's really hard to overcome within a drive, and usually leads to points, and that's kind of the way it played out in front of us. I thought there was some good mojo. They were literally telling me not to challenge the play on the punt when we blocked it because they said they reviewed it and it wasn't there. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Ashton Hollins told me he touched it, so I'm glad I made that challenge, right? And then we also challenged one later on on another fumble that they ruled was not a fumble. So I thought there was some positive breaks beginning to happen our way, but yeah, there was a couple DPI penalties that were huge. The first one on Taz, they called it. They thought it was a late hit, unnecessary. Taz, I think early on was just trying to run up and make an aggressive play. I thought they were going to call targeting, but obviously they called a late hit.
Was there something that kept you from maybe getting the pressure you wanted on Hudson Card?
Is there something pressure-wise? Well, we definitely, we had the one pressure. I know that almost resulted in the safety. We changed up what we did at half. We did a couple of different things on third down, but they were not subbing, so some of the third down stuff we couldn't get to unless they subbed. And again, I give them credit. They executed on some third down plays, made the throw, made the catch, and were able to protect their quarterback.
You've talked about it before, but your third down failure is kind of a connection between first and second down too. I thought I saw your conversion to go was like 10 yards or more. On
Yeah, they were. We definitely got to get third and manageable. I think that, when we stay ahead of the chains and get those third manageables, it's usually a good sign for us to come. I think I keep going back to what's our identity, and I don't know if we've established that yet. And I do like I know Reggie. We missed Reggie today, but he practiced a little bit this week, but he couldn't go. And obviously, I think Josh. There are some things I know he can do better, but I thought he did some things, and I thought number 3, when he came in, ran with some authority. So I think we got to continue to look at ways to get some of these young guys involved and help us move the chains.
When did you make the decision on Reggie?
Reggie made a decision. Reggie, just basically where he's at, didn't feel like that he could go. I think on Wednesday he went a little bit. I think it was through period 5 or 6. Took him out, and then on Thursday didn't want to have him go. Friday he felt a lot better, but today when he got here, we took him out in pre-game, and I just told him it's in your hands, right? Like you decided whether or not you can go. And Reggie's very conscientious. Nobody wanted to go more than Reg.
Brett, you said a couple times now, looking for identity on offense. How do you go about addressing
I think we got to have some hard conversations, with the coaches, and I can. Decide all we want. I've tried to put it in their hands, but I think as a head coach, I got to decide what our identity is and force it that way. And I know that we're, obviously short a little bit at certain positions, but I like our wide receiver core. I like our running back core. I like the tight ends where they're at. We got to give our quarterback a chance. I think what we can do is look at what we're doing offensive line-wise, what we're asking those guys to do, and I know what we want to do, but sometimes you got to make the decision. Is this something we ask our guys to do? And if they can't do it, do we eliminate it and find another option? Because obviously the one that we're trying to use isn't working.
On the offensive line, we had heard there was open competition this week, or a little more open competition. Yeah. Is it just a matter of the 4 or 5, 6 guys you're playing have to get better? Or?
Yeah, I think the 5 guys we started. Hunter was rotating in at right guard and a little bit at right tackle, but obviously him and Zai were rotating through there today, and then. Today, the flip side of it, Geske, who had made 2 weeks of improvement, unfortunately got rolled up, and the first time he came back in, but that second time he couldn't go anymore. So now we pull him out of the mix. We'd work Jordan in there as well at that right guard and giving him an opportunity. So we're really, really thin at bodies. Obviously it's not a surprise to us. This is what we've been since fall camp. Same guys. Like to give guys more opportunity, but I think the right guys are on the field. We just got to get them to play better.
You're playing for healthy running back 12-8, 4-4.
Yeah.
Has Caden worked above that 4 threshold just the way he's played?
Well, I think, the number changed erratically when Reggie's not in there. Reggie, I think going into last week was a guy that we tried to, kind of take a step forward and be the guy, and was doing that until the point where he got hurt. So it's kind of a, it's just, to come into this game now and a guy that we kind of thought, and then obviously have him out of it. And Josh, I think Josh was ready for this moment. This was a game when he came over here as a true freshman. He played pretty well in and did some things. The way the game kind of unfolded, it didn't give him a chance to really get going. I felt we were pressing a little bit when we in that second half when they got the score. I felt like we do better when we do have tempo. But we had so many negative yard plays out of the get-go, and I think the way we could avoid that is maybe being a little bit more conscientious about what we're doing on early downs.
All good?
Thank you.